You are not here by accident. You were created on purpose for a purpose. And if you need a little extra proof of just how incredible that is, remember this. When you were conceived, there were roughly 300 million sperm racing toward one egg. And you, my friend, won the race. Out of 300 million possibilities, you were the one who made it to life. If that doesn't make you feel like you are here for a reason, I don't know what will. You were chosen. You were equipped. You were born with something this world needs. Hi friends, and welcome back to Simply Hooked, a crochet podcast. I'm your host, Marcy, a crochet artist, mom, and creative entrepreneur. Join me as we explore the art of crochet and the beauty of being uniquely made. Y'all, I am so excited for this episode. The words and energy behind today's message have been stirring inside of me for the past year. And now I finally get to release it all into the world and share it with you. This isn't just a chat today. It's a transmission. It's a life-giving download of the things that have truly transformed the way I live, dream, create, and show up in the world. And here's the thing. It might sound a little woo-woo at first. I thought the same thing when I first heard it. But I promise you, this is some of the most practical and powerful truths you will ever receive if you are open. Because here's the truth. Your energy creates your reality. And once you understand that, you will never look at your life the same way again. Since what I like to call my awakening began about 3 years ago, 3 words have echoed through nearly everything I've read, listened to, and explored. And that is energy, vibration, and frequency. I heard them over and over again while listening to Kathy Heller's podcast and watching Bob Proctor's seminars. But for the first 2 years, it all went in one ear and out the other. I just wasn't in a place to truly receive what they were saying. I was listening, but I wasn't ready. But about 12 months ago, something shifted. Those words started to land. They began to make sense, not just intellectually, but in my spirit, in my body, and in my lived experience. Understanding these concepts has changed how I show up, what I believe is possible, and what I'm creating in this life. It has completely altered my trajectory. So if you're here today and you are open and ready to receive this, great, you are in the right place. But if you're still not quite sure about all this, that's okay too. Like I said, it took me 2 years before I started to really grasp this. But if your soul is even slightly whispering, I want more than this, then chances are pretty good that something in this message is going to find you right when it needs to. So let's start with something simple and grounding. You are energy. Literally, every part of you, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, is made of atoms, and atoms are always moving. Nothing is truly still. You are vibrating all the time. That's not just some spiritual theory, it is physics. Scientists have shown that atoms, the building blocks of your body, and everything else, are made up of about 99% energy and only 1% of actual particle or matter. That means what we think of as solid is mostly empty space and energetic movement. You are, at your core, energy in motion. Now let's break down vibration and frequency. Think of yourself like a radio. You are always broadcasting a signal. That signal is your vibration. And the station you're tuned into, that is your frequency. When you are feeling joy, love, inspiration, peace, that is a high frequency. When you're stuck in fear, doubt, scarcity, anxiety, that is low frequency. Neither is right or wrong, but they're not neutral. They attract different things. So when people say, raise your vibration, they're really talking about shifting your mindset and emotional state to something higher, like love, joy, creativity, faith, or gratitude. So you can align with experiences that match that elevated state. When you're in a high frequency, you are more open to inspiration, opportunities, and creative ideas. You attract things and people that match that vibration. You're like a magnet for things on the same radio station. In physics, the word resonance refers to the phenomenon that occurs when one object vibrating at a certain frequency causes a second object to vibrate at the same frequency. In other words, things that are in tune with each other naturally begin to move together. When applied to our lives, resonance helps explain why we attract people, opportunities, and experiences that match our inner state. If you are vibrating at the frequency of hope and possibility, you will start to notice more hope and possibility showing up in your life. Also, vice versa. If you are vibrating at a low frequency of fear, doubt, anxiety, then you will notice more of that showing up in your life. This is why a positive mindset is so important. So, how do you actually change your vibration? It's about realignment. There are a few things you can do. You can shift your thoughts, focus on possibility instead of lack. You can practice gratitude, write down 10 things you are grateful for every single day. You can move your body, dancing, walking, sing your favorite song in the car as loud as you can. Surround yourself with uplifting people or content. And do the things that light you up. The more you do of this, the more you tune into a better feeling station. And from there, magic tends to happen. Wayne Dyer once said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you are." Let that sink in. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You can say you want abundance, success, and love, but if you're vibrating at the frequency of fear, unworthiness, or lack, then you're not a match for those things. The universe is not responding to your words. It's responding to your energy. So when you embody the energy of a person you want to become, opportunities begin to magnetize to you. It is not magic. It is resonance. It is alignment. Wayne Dyer also said, "You'll see it when you believe it, not the other way around." It's not, "I'll believe I'm worthy once I have proof." It's, "I believe I'm worthy," and that belief begins to shape my reality. Your inner world is the blueprint for your outer experience. This is where input and output come in. So your life is like a mirror. What you're putting in, meaning what you feed your mind, heart, and soul, determines what you put out. And what you put out is what the world reflects back to you. Energy in equals energy out. So ask yourself, what kind of content are you consuming? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What stories are you repeating in your head every single day? If you are constantly feeding yourself with comparison, fear-based media, negativity, or self-judgment, your energy starts to reflect that. Your frequency lowers, and you start to attract more of the same. But if you start feeding yourself truth, gratitude, joy, possibility, even in small doses, you raise your frequency. And guess what? That is when the world starts to reflect new opportunities, people, and breakthroughs. It was about a year ago when I finally wrote down for the first time I am a crochet designer. Do you remember this from the episode about the book deal? Just from saying that, I decided, like, this is my future. This is what I want my future to be. And so instead of saying, I hope one day, I wish that I could, I want to at some point be, I was like, I am a crochet designer, because the truth is I am. But I had to give myself permission to believe that. And when I wrote it down and I claimed it, and then I reached out to editors of magazines, look at the doors that opened. I raised my vibration, and the world responded. The opportunities, the people, and the breakthroughs, it all happened within a couple of weeks. And I thought, my goodness, there really is something to this. You don't wait for things to happen to give you evidence that you're on the right path. You have to decide what you want. You have to decide the life you want, where you're going, and who you want to be. You have to make the decision first, and then things start to happen. People have always done this backwards. It's always, if I get enough sales, then I'll be successful. If I make this certain amount of money, then I'll be successful. No. You have to know where you're going, know what you want, and claim it. That's where it starts. And then the doors start to open. Then the opportunities show up. Then you meet people you wouldn't have met otherwise. And that is a hard thing for people to grasp, because we are so used to having evidence before we take the next step forward. But this change in thinking is very faith-based. You have to know. You have to have a knowing of what you want in your life and where you're going, and then things happen. Wayne Dyer also said, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Your perception is your power. So how do you actually shift your vibration? How do you start tuning into a new frequency? First, I want to acknowledge something important. Life isn't always rainbows and sunshine. I get that. Curveballs happen. Unexpected pain, setbacks, grief, disappointments. They're all a part of the human experience. And for a lot of people, this idea of shifting to a positive mindset can feel unsafe or even unrealistic. I've heard many people say, if I expect the worst, then I won't be disappointed when it happens. But here's the truth. When you expect the worst, you're actually helping create conditions for it to show up. So instead of bracing for disappointment, what if you gave yourself permission to expect something beautiful, to believe that things could work out better than you imagined? It's not about ignoring the hard stuff. It's about choosing to hold space for hope, creativity, and possibility. It starts with awareness. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what you're thinking. Notice what you're consuming, and then make tiny shifts. Bob Proctor often talked about awareness as being the key to unlocking your potential. He said that most people live their entire lives without ever tapping into even a fraction of what they are capable of, simply because they haven't expanded their awareness. If you're not aware of what's possible, you can't reach for it. You can't desire it. You won't recognize the opportunities even when they're right in front of you. Awareness is the light switch. It illuminates the room so you can finally see the doors that were always there. When you begin to expand your awareness, you start to see new paths, new ideas, and new levels of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Deepak Chopra teaches that intention is the seed of creation, and attention is what waters it. In other words, your intention sets the direction for your life, and your attention provides the energy that helps it grow. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So the more you focus on fear, limitation, or lack, the more of that you will experience. But when you focus your attention on what's possible, what is beautiful, what is inspiring, you begin to expand those things in your life. Chopra says, energy flows where intention goes. And when you combine a heart-aligned intention with loving, focused energy, you activate the creative force of the universe. That's how dreams begin to take form. Not through force, but through focus, alignment, and trust. And here's what I believe with my whole heart. God gives us our desires. They aren't random. They were planted in us on purpose. And not only does He give us the dream, but He also gives us the resources, the opportunities, and the wisdom to bring that dream to life. He wants us to live a full, abundant, creative life. He didn't give us this one beautiful life just to survive it, just to keep our heads above water. He gave it to us so we could do something great with it. I once heard Jay Shetty say, "Your passion is for you, but your purpose is for others." And that hit me so deeply. The things that light you up, that's your gift. And when you use that gift to serve others, that's your purpose. So don't ignore the dream. Don't downplay your gifts. That thing that seems too far out or too niche, that just might be the very thing you were made to do. We are living in 2025 right now. And the world that we live in today is not the world our parents grew up in. There are more ways to make money today than ever before in human history. E-commerce and digital products have completely transformed what is possible. And those two things barely even existed 20 years ago. You don't have to follow the same old path anymore. You can think outside the box. You can get wildly creative. You can absolutely make a living doing something you love, even if it sounds totally far-fetched to someone else. I cannot tell you how many people have looked at me over the past 10 years with that, "Oh, that's so cute" expression when I say, "My dream is to make a living with crochet." They didn't believe it because they had never seen it. But guess what? I don't need anyone else to see it. I just need me to see it, right? I have expanded my awareness. I know what is possible. And I know that I'm going to take this as far as I possibly can and then some. Expand your awareness like your life depends on it, because it does. Challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to want more or to do things differently. Your dream might not make sense to other people, but it was never meant for them. It was meant for you. One of my favorite reminders of this life comes from Mary Oliver's poem, The Summer Day. The last line says this: "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" That line just stops me in my tracks every time. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Because it is so easy to drift through the days, to stay stuck in survival mode or autopilot. But when we remember how rare and miraculous this life is, we start to wake up. We start to realize that playing small, staying safe, or living for other people's expectations is not the point. You only get this one life. What are you going to do with it? What kind of energy will you carry throughout your days? What dreams will you finally say yes to? Let that line truly live in your heart and call you higher every single day. So ask yourself this: what energy am I living in most of the time? What kind of input am I allowing into my life? And what am I broadcasting to the world? You are powerful. You are magnetic. And your energy, your vibration is your blueprint. When you change your energy, you change everything. And here's your reminder. You were not here by accident. You were created on purpose, for a purpose. And if you need a little extra proof of just how incredible that is, remember this. When you were conceived, there were roughly 300 million sperm racing toward one egg. And you, my friend, won the race. Out of 300 million possibilities, you were the one who made it to life. If that doesn't make you feel like you are here for a reason, I don't know what will. You were chosen. You were equipped. You were born with something this world needs. That little spark inside you, that dream, that desire, that wild, beautiful vision for your life, it is not random. It is divine. You don't have to have it all figured out to take the first step. You just have to trust that your energy, your intention, and your willingness to believe in something bigger will guide the way. So go out there, raise your vibration, align with who you truly are, and do something brave with your one wild and precious life. The world is waiting for what only you can create. So if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it with a fellow crocheter, creative entrepreneur, friend, family member. And if you would like to browse my crochet patterns, please visit marsandmade.co, where you can also find my Learn to Crochet course. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. So until next time, my friends, keep curating, keep dreaming, and remember, you were uniquely made for something beautiful.